Hello everyone, welcome back to some more thrift store finds. Went out this morning to the bargain bins and found a ton of really good book finds, and then found a bunch of stuff in the regular room you're going to want to see if you like 90s era PC stuff. First in the bargain bins, found a nice stack of Zakaria Steichen books. This is almost all of them, I think. Yeah, it's almost all of them. Really good. I've read these a long time ago. Amanda read all these years ago. So really cool to find a big stack of those. And then a little bit of a lesser find, but a stack of V.C. Andrews books. Enough there that it was worth picking those up. And a few more vintage books. We had The Executioner's Death Squad. That was worth grabbing. And then Caravan to Xanadu. A little bit of wear, more than I'd like on the dust jacket here, but otherwise it's in really good shape. Nice, cool map, so this definitely was one that was worth grabbing. And then The Currents of Space, Isaac Asimov. Vintage hardcover. A few music finds. We have a 2-disc set of In the Mood, the big band era. This is actually going to be for me. From the bargain bins, I checked out what was on the back here, and that is one that I will hang on to. And this was one of those, I have no idea what this is, I'm going to have to see what it is, but it was sealed and it was bargain bins. It was like, by weight, this is less than 10 cents. We have Give Me Back My People. It's in Japanese. Everything in it is Japanese. It's a Japanese release. And that's one I'm going to have to look up a little bit more to see what the heck that is. A 2-disc DVD edition of Wanted with Angelina Jolie. I have that on DVD and like that movie. A sealed copy of Once Upon a Time, the complete second season. So because it was sealed, that was worth grabbing. 2 VHS finds, a Walt Disney Cartoon Classics, Here's Pluto. And the Universal Studios Comedy Legends release of Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. Then the big thing was in the regular room, I found a bunch of 90s era PC games all in with music CDs. That's why I say always check, you never know, it could be video games or something in with the books or whoever, you never know what you're going to find. But I found a bunch of just kind of very oddball stuff and a few point-and-click adventures, really cool. One I never knew existed, but William Shatner's Tech War. I never knew there was a game. It looks like it is a first-person shooter. I never knew that Tech War had a video game. I've read a few of the books. I've never seen the TV series that I think lasted a season or whatever. It just was never, I never got into it. Shatner's stuff in general just usually is not, something I really enjoy. But yeah, it's really bizarre. I never knew. 1994, it's published through the Sci-Fi Channel and Intracorp. What in the world? So that is an oddball one. I never knew that existed. This is kind of a cool cover and title, but Space Bunnies Must Die. 90s era PC stuff. 2 of the Monty Python PC games. Redneck Rampage, the early years, the special edition for Windows 95 with a free trial of America Online. Yeah, interesting. And what is this one? Fexder for Windows 95. It's a Sierra one that I've never heard of before. Then Zork, the Grand Inquisition. So part of that line of games. And has some of these live-action FMV cutscenes in a style very reminiscent of like Command and Conquer. So that was a cool one to find. Seventh Guest, classic. It's on a bunch of old stuff. Some 90s X-Files stuff. I guess, when was the game? It was a game... Because there are multiple X-Files games, but this is, I think, the first game. The X-Files as all 7 CDs and the manual and everything. The X-Files PC game. And then sitting along with it, we have X-Files Unrestricted Access, the definitive X-Files interactive resource. There were a lot of these for TV shows back in the 90s into very early 2000s when CD format was kind of new. With, now it seems a little something odd, but back then they would be interactive encyclopedias, information all about the show. So a lot of times they would have desktop wallpapers or screensavers were a big thing. It's not really a thing anymore, but those were a big deal. And sometimes DVD sets like the Hercules and Xena, the old Anchor Bay ones, would have a disc at the end that was actually for your PC that would have that, and an encyclopedia about monsters and things and desktop wallpapers and that kind of stuff. So here's a big multi-disc interactive guide for the X-Files. Then some more Sierra with Shivers 1 and 2. Then we have Blood 2 The Chosen. This is actually brand new sealed still, just the disc. There was no big box stuff, it was just the discs in there with the music CDs, that was cool. Azrael's Tear, the holy grail of adventure games. Simply brilliant. Afterlife. The Gabriel Knight Sins of the Fathers. So one of the Gabriel Knight games. Right, no more Sierra. Then we have Star Wars Trilogy on CD-ROM. So that was crazy find. I was over there with the music CDs digging through all of them. Once I found a handful of great 90s PC stuff, I'm like, there's got to be more, and I'm searching through and I found so much. So that huge stack. And if you're interested in this kind of stuff and you like Star Trek, make sure you check out my other channel. Because this is actually only half of what I found today. This is where I would normally, if I have a big bunch of stuff, it's one theme, a lot of times I cut and do a separate video just on that anyway. This is one of those times because the first bunch of 90s PC stuff that I found was not any of this. The stuff that got me really excited, there was a bunch of Star Trek. And then I was over to the books, and I found more Star Trek. And I just found a bunch of Star Trek. Someone had a bunch of Windows 95, 98 type stuff, and they also were into Star Trek, I believe, because it was all kind of together. So make sure you check that out if you're into Star Trek and thrift store finds.